Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at Rockford Records with State Representative Becks Lawson, currently running for re-election. And how are you doing this evening, Miss Lawson?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much for asking.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you for taking the time with us today. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what are some of your values you bring to the table as a current state representative.
Absolutely. So, a lot of people have probably seen me around the city, but here's a little bit of the TLDR of my past. I moved to the city around 9 or 10 months ago. I started working as an artist, doing work in social media, journalism, and fashion. I founded the lifestyle and culture brand Clout. And I also did work at CNT as a journalist. Since then, I have served as a state rep. Um, and worked hard to bring the values of my work in the past on Clout, shows like Kraken's Cove, and the ethics of journalism to this position as a state rep.
Sure thing. Well, what made you originally passionate about politics, Miss Lawson? What made you interested in running for the position as state representative originally?
Well, this was the snap election right after the death of Representative Evan Lee, and I think what I realized was there were people in the city who not just were struggling, but felt completely abandoned by their government. They felt as though going to the government was like trying to address a brick wall, and I was frustrated with that. I was in a similar position. For instance, gave up carrying a gun because they kept getting robbed off of me while I drove Go Postal, and I saw security employees having to resort to using their guns to deal with problems because they couldn't, reliably get a police officer on site. I,
Unfortunate.
I've seen these problems close up, and I realized that being a conduit between the people and policymakers is just as important as writing policy, and that's been a major pillar of my service since.
Very well said. So, what do you think are the most important parts that stand out to you as being a state representative?
Definitely, I think part of the problems that people are facing is one, economic. You know, uh, People feel like when it comes to buying a house, it's basically impossible. They worry about getting a job that will last and working for a business that, won't exploit them. I also think what you're seeing is a lot of problems with people just not being able to do what they want to do. And obviously, that sounds very vague. We don't want chaos in the streets, but I want people to be able to come into the city and say, I'm going to start my own business, and I feel really confident in being able to do that. I'm going to start a new brand. I'm going to run for office. I'm going to do X, Y, or Z, and I know exactly how to do it because there are goalposts for me along the way. I think even now that's something the state is missing, and my time in Congress has kind of made that clearer to me.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, if re-elected over the next 4 months, what do you say would be your ultimate vision over the next term?
Fantastic question. What I think is needed right now is the government is lacking. I think in a lot of ways, people feel like we're about 4 or 5 really bad nights away from just living in the purge. And I hate that. That's really unfortunate. What I would like to do is look at using private industry to help shore up the weaknesses of the government. I think you already see this with the Merriweather contract the government has. That's something that creates jobs, boosts local business, and doesn't pull on our already exhausted and overdrained police force. I think there are probably other use cases like that, where, for instance, working with a financial firm to audit a department or to use businesses like we already do for hosting events and giving them even more power and free reign for that is going to be a crucial part of having a government that is large enough to be able to help everyone in the city.
Absolutely, a bit of a fresh take at an old problem there. That's a good way to go about it, right? So, why don't you take the time now to tell some of the people at home that are tuning in what policies you intend to enact over the next term if re-elected, and how you would go about enforcing it?
Absolutely. Well, I've already been working on passing a fair few bills, and I can tell you I already have the first major plans for the next Congress lined out. First of all, I intend to keep working with the Department of Human Services. I think they do absolutely crucial work. We can't expect the police to withstand or to respond to every call, and I think the caseworkers and infrastructure and long-term help that they can provide is absolutely incredible. And so while we spent the last, two Congresses establishing them as an organization and then having their legal infrastructure built, there is so much more that we could do for them. And that extends to the population. I want to take a long look at addiction and support groups. You see people in the community already, like Oliver Langmore. They shouldn't be leading the charge by themselves. They need support, and that's something I pledge to offer. I've also been working with members of the public who are interested in setting up a bail bonds business. That is a business that creates jobs. It helps streamline the parole process, creating a more equitable and fair justice system. And I really believe it'll help make the state safer. Those are just off the top of my head. I could talk about what I'd love to do all day, but we only have a few minutes, and I think those are some of the things I feel strongest about.
And Miss Lawson, before we let you go this evening, we wanted to take a minute to use the platform here and address some of the rumors that are going on. You see posts on Twitter and that, and you hear things about, there may have been a hit put out by a politician such as yourself and things like that. How say you, State Representative Lawson, would you speak on the matter for us, please, for the people at home?
Absolutely, I'm happy to. So the tape and the allegations that are going around date all the way back to August. This came after I was abducted outside the Cockatoos nightclub by the Pillbox cartel, the leader of which has fled the state under massive drug charges, which I think says a lot. And I also think it says a lot that my opponents are using this tape and using the allegations months after they're relevant, a full election cycle later. Because I think the truth is, my campaign and my platform and my work in Congress cannot be attacked. You can say I'm not perfect and there's fair criticisms to be made, but I've worked hard. I've been answering calls for the people, pushing legislation and getting their bills in front of the other state reps. I think that's something that I have proven through months of hard work, and it says a lot that the only thing that people have to throw at me on social media is these allegations with no charges, let alone a conviction. I understand that people are concerned. I think corruption is a very heavy topic that needs to be discussed, but I don't think that people bringing this into the public eye. I don't think the people bringing it into the public eye now are doing so in good faith. I think they're doing it to try to score cheap political points because it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's fun to think of. It's soap opera stuff, but it's something where I'm focused on moving forward and serving the people of San Andreas.
A bit of a theatrics and dramatics, right? Absolutely. Well, it takes a lot to stand in front of these allegations and take them head on for the people, all right, and address these issues. And we do appreciate you taking the time to hit some of those points for us, all right, State Representative Lawson.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And thank you for your time this evening.